Hello, it's Michelle and Olive. Welcome to our August reading plans. We like to read together a lot, so it's perfect that she's with me on the couch right now. And I decided to stop trying to update Yoda with the different seasons and stuff because I'm ready for fall. So he's going to have a pumpkin until after Halloween. In August, I'm going to be doing the color of the month, or this month, colors of the month. But I'm also, in the first 2 weeks, going to be doing a readathon. I am going to be doing vlogs for the month of August. So you can see Olive and Marty. You can see into our lives a little bit and all that fun stuff. I decided for August to pick yellow and white. For me, yellow because of the sun. I feel like August is always the hottest month of the year, or at least it is where I live. I also think of August as being a time of the year when I want to go to the beach. And with the beach, I think about lemonade or pina coladas like this. Or I think about being on the beach and like all the white seashells. And I love yellow and white together also. I've got quite a few audiobooks that are yellow that I picked out. So I'll show some images of those up here. The yellow book that I own is Don't Shed Your Tears for Anyone Who Lives on These Streets by Patricio Pron. I got this at the Dollar Tree, so it's not something I've been hearing about a lot on BookTube or Bookstagram or anything like that, but this book has been translated into English from the Spanish, and I just thought, I love translated books. I think it's fun reading books that take place in other countries and that are penned by authors who aren't in America. Pinerolo, Italy, April 1945. At a fascist conference, a writer disappears and is found dead at the bottom of a cliff. 30 years later, a young man, a political activist, or maybe a terrorist, interviews the survivors to try to uncover the truth about what happened and its consequences. Who was this writer? What did he believe in? Why, shortly before his death, did he save a man who could have killed him? Where is his lost work, and what does any of this have to do with a teenager in contemporary Milan involved in a violent confrontation by the police? It might be really good and it might be terrible. I'll get back to you on that. For the Killer Reads book club with AJ Dunn, the book for August is Double Indemnity by James M. Cain. It's kind of a fun cover, and I'm assuming it must, I don't know anything about it, but I'm assuming it must be a noir mystery book. If you've read it, let me know. Oh yeah, first published in 1935, so it's definitely going to be stepping outside of the world in which we currently live. It's only 115 pages long, and I think this was made into a movie, right? If you've seen it, let me know, because wait, it says something in here about... Oh, his first novel was The Postman Always Rings Twice. That was a good movie. I love that movie. So, that should be fun. This one I have been wanting to read for a long time. This was on my wish list for quite a while, and I ended up getting it with my birthday money. It's The Humanity Archive, Recovering the Soul of Black History from a Whitewashed American Myth by Jermaine Fowler. And I just think this sounds so good. I love hearing other sides to stories because I don't know that we ever really know the truth, right? There's my side, your side, and then the truth. And I think so often when history books have been written, they've been written to make certain people look good, right? I guess that's probably human nature to some degree. I guess if I was writing a book about myself, I would want to make myself look nicer or better than I am. Well, certainly thinner, right? But so I think this book will probably kind of be like watching a Oliver Stone documentary where I'm finding out the truth about things that I've been lied to about. I don't know if this is considered white and yellow or not, because it's got like the color of sand, and then it's kind of off-white and the clouds are sort of whitish. Have you read this one? My grandmother asked me to tell you she's sorry by Frederik Backman. And this one, well, I know he's super popular, right? I've never read a Frederik Backman book. This was also translated to English, right? I think. It doesn't say. That's bizarre. There's no way he wrote this in English if isn't he Swedish? So, and I do have this on an audio format, so I'm probably going to listen to it and not physically read it. So I should be able to get to those books. And then just got a couple more here. I've got The Ones We Are Not Created Equal, it says. And this is by Sweren-Becker. This book was published in 2016. And it's about a girl and her boyfriend who were randomly selected before they were born to receive genetic engineering. That's so creepy. So it says, chilling and frighteningly real, The Ones leads us down a dark rabbit hole of scientific possibilities, fractured morality, and brutal consequences. So, one thing I found about books from the Dollar Tree is they're either wonderful or they're DNF quality, and there's not a lot in between. But it's always nice to find a gem that isn't super popular and that we're not hearing about every time we look at our phone. A Girl Last Seen by Nina Laurin. This one my mom sent to me. My mom seems to really enjoy books about girls who are kidnapped. I don't think she wanted me to be kidnapped. It's more like identifying with that fear that mothers have, kind of thing. I think that's why. But and this one, it's a girl disappears, and then 13 years later, another girl disappears in the same manner. And oh, okay. So the one that disappeared 13 years ago, it says that she's always wondered who replaced her in that basement. And now she knows who has replaced her 13 years later. Somebody's been abducted that has to be abducted by the same person. So now this person that abducted her has never been found. So she's going to go find who it was. Ooh, that does sound creepy. And then the last one is a little short nonfiction book here. Can You Ever Forgive Me by Lee Israel. I also got this at the Dollar Tree. I remember during like COVID days, the bookstores around here were closed and the Dollar Tree had a plethora of books. And I bought a bunch of books there. And I'm trying to use this year of color of the month to get through a bunch of books on my TBR shelves that have just been sitting there collecting dust for far too long. And yeah, so far it seems to be working really well. I've got a yellow mug too, with it being yellow and white this month. Golden Girls. I've had this for over 10 years and some of the stuff has started to wear off. But I love this mug. It's one of my favorite mugs. I'll never forget when we were newlyweds. We just had no money, you know, and Brad went to the mall for something and he came home and he said, I went into Spencer's and I know I shouldn't have spent the money, but I saw something that I had to get you, and it was this mug, and it's so sweet, right? And he should have got it for me because I am Golden Girls obsessed. I love the Golden Girls. I've been back watching them every night before I go to bed. Usually what I'll do is watch the entire series and then I'll wait a year or two and then go back and watch it again, that kind of thing. So I've probably seen it 8 or 9 times now, but I have my shows that I have to watch over and over and over again. Do you have any? I'm trying to think. The other ones that I love watching are My So-Called Life, which if you're my age or older, you maybe remember that one. Then there is that show I think is timelessly cool. Like, I think a teenager now could watch it and think, oh, this is pretty cool. And it might give them a little bit of a view into like the Gen X world before things changed so much, you know, what it was like to be a teenager in the 90s. And then Dexter, Tru Blood. We watched Fringe a couple times. The X-Files. Is that everything that I've watched multiple times? I think it is. So, okay, on to the Readathon. I'm going to be doing the Full Moon Readathon. It's being hosted by Jan Agaton. If you haven't watched her channel, I definitely recommend it. Okay, it's got 4 different cards, and each card has 3 prompts on it. So the first one is the Devil. The first book on that is Fire Involved. So fire on the cover or fire in the title. Where is it? The one that I picked was A Slow Fire Burning by Paula Hawkins. I have no idea what it's about. I don't care. I loved Girl on a Train so much that I'm just going to dive into this book and read it without knowing what it's about. I think synopses are overrated anyway. I don't think they do most books justice. Okay, the next one is A Morally Gray Character. For this one, I'm going to listen to the audiobook Murder Your Employer by Rupert Holmes. And I'm assuming that's a morally gray character. I'm not really sure, but I mean, there'd have to be either the boss or who wants to kill them has to be morally gray, right? I would think. And then the other prompt on here is read past your bedtime, which shouldn't be a problem for me. I've been doing that a lot lately. That's why I look so tired all the time. The next card is the Vampire. The first book is Blood in the title or on the cover. I chose A Dowry of Blood. That's one that Jan recommended in her video announcing the Readathon, and I thought that sounded great, so I'll be listening to that. And then the next one is Your Favorite Supernatural Creature. With that one, I thought a little while about this, and I thought, you know, it'd be really cool to do dragons, because I don't really have a favorite supernatural creature as of yet. I haven't really read any fantasy books. I think I've read maybe 1 or 2 in my life. But I know Olive over here, my little sleeping beauty, she loves dragons. And whenever there's dragons on TV, when we watched, what is that show? I can't believe I forgot the name of it. You know, after the Game of Thrones, the dragons one. Whenever dragons come on, she just gets so excited. Olive likes it when I read out loud to her. She loves to sit with me and take a nap, or sometimes cuddle with me when I'm reading. And so I had asked Jan if she had any recommendations for books with dragons in them. And she recommended Fear of the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. And this one is I think it's a romance fantasy book. And that's all I know. I don't know anything else about it. It's the first book in a series, and I'm okay with, like I said, I'm okay with not knowing anything about a book before I read it. But this book it's very beautiful, I think. It's got a map, which I love, and another map. And I love this detail at the beginning of each chapter. And I hear this is a really quick book to get through, and I hope it is, because it is 571 pages, which I have a lot of nerve reading a book that long during a 2-week-long readathon, but here I am. The next card is the Jackolantern. The first prompt on that one is to read a nostalgic, spooky book. So I decided to read The Wrong Number. I really like the channel, The Shady Side Library. And on there, he really likes vintage books. He's a much younger guy, but that loves books that take place in the 80s and 90s, which I think is really cool. And this is one of his favorite R.L. Stine books, and I haven't read this one yet. This one started with a prank call that went awry, which is funny because I don't think prank calls are really a thing anymore, are they? But back in the 80s and 90s, they were. We all did this to other people. It seems kind of mean now, but yeah. And this one will be a nice, quick read. The next prompt is someone else's pick. So I asked my husband, Brad, to go stand at my TBR shelves and look for a book that he thought I should read. And the one that he picked was The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I love this cover. And this is another shorter book, so I should be able to get through this pretty quickly as well. So this will be nice because I've got a couple thick books, but then I've got a couple really thin books. And the next prompt on that one is something pumpkin flavored. I haven't decided what that'll be yet, but you'll find out if you watch the vlog of my readathon experience. And then the last one is The Skeleton, a hardback book. I had just ordered this, and I thought that'd be perfect. This is one of my favorite movies. It's definitely my favorite Halloween movie, Trick or Treat. And this is a special edition. It's like the 10th anniversary collection of Trick or Treat. And so this is the, oh, look at that, creepy. and by the way, Brad's Halloween costume that he's worn for the last couple of years is Sam, and we just love that costume. It's very cute. Okay. So it looks like this is 3 different graphic novels all combined into one. Let's see here. See if I can find some good imagery for you. But I thought this would be really fun to read since I'm in such a Halloween mood and such a fall mood right now. Then the next book is a book between 206 and 300 pages. Jan picked those numbers because we were born with 300 bones, around 300 bones, and then by the time everything's fused together, we have 206 bones. So that's how she came up with those numbers. So the book that I wanted to read for that one is I think this is supposed to be an extreme horror novel, and it's written by a fellow booktuber, Mique Watson. I got this also as one of my birthday books, and I have not had a chance to read it yet, so I'm excited about that. And then the last prompt is your favorite graphic tee, which I already know which one I'm going to show you for that. So those are all the books that I plan on reading in August. Obviously, like always, this is a loose TBR. I might change things up. I might take some of these books out or add different ones in or what have you. I found that ever since I decided to make my TBR videos very loose and just to make the disclaimer that there's probably a good chunk of these that I won't read, or some of them might be replaced with other books. If I tell you that, it's a lot easier to do TBR videos because then I'm not pressuring myself so much. So if you're doing the readathon, let me know. And if you're reading any yellow or white books or books with yellow or white on the cover, let me know. I think this should be pretty easy to do. There's so many books that have yellow or white on the cover somewhere, even if it's just the title of the book or something. Wow, she is really knocked out over there. I did get a good amount of books with red on the cover, red for July. I will be putting out a video with all the books that I read in July soon. I just don't want to do it yet because July's not over yet. I might read more. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day or night. Happy reading. Bye.